Wanted to do a couple of updates. The first one is on Tiffany Henyard. As we think about the crime wall, it's no longer just going to cover gory stuff. It's going to cover some of everything as it relates to overall crime, what might be seen as crime, what people could be possibly charged with as it relates to crime. So just a quick update, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, if you love crime or any kind of crime, you'll know that the mayor, Tiffany Henyard, who is also the supervisor of the Thornton Township, has been running into a little bit of controversy at this point with so many people that she seems to have put into place in particular positions are no longer on her side. And it's interesting because sometimes you think you could set the, what's the saying? Sometimes you think you could set the board, right, to your advantage. But one thing, if anybody has learned and life will continue to teach you, is you're on your own. Like, even criminals, as we think about this being the crime wall, even criminals who go in and try to do any kind of crimes with other people, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's most likely going to try to save themselves. So I think Tiffany Henyard is getting a little bit of the feeling of this. But I will say this, and I never want to put another woman down. I never want to be that type of person that judges. But Queen, you got to slow it down just a little bit. You've got to have a little bit of decorum. You've got to have a little bit of restraint. You've got to realize at this point, everything around you is a reflection of you as well. Like, people respond and people talk and people try to belittle each other or even belittle you, because I think at every moment that you get an opportunity, Tiffany Henyard, you try to make people feel like they're dumb. You try to make people feel like everyone needs to be educated. And I don't know who's educating you, but yeah, on the crime wall, we just want to share that here's a little education for you. If maybe you decided to hold yourself more in a professional manner, professional tone, hold yourself accountable to that of a leadership role, maybe, your constituents wouldn't carry themselves the way they carry themselves. Like, I have watched a lot of your videos that you have posted, even when you were a trustee. Hey, sis, y'all, Cass is on. Cass is on. So if you would like to, I don't know how to bring you on here, but yeah, sorry. What I was saying is, Tiffany, here, when you were a trustee, I've watched some of your videos. Your mannerisms, your tone, your ability to articulate in a calm manner has never been you. You've never had a calm tone. You've never, like, in my opinion, from what I've seen, you've never learned that part of the job. So I just think maybe it starts with you. You're always saying you want to educate everybody. Let me educate you. Let me educate you. Like, that is your thing. Or you gonna demand respect. I have never heard, and I mean this in all honesty, I have never heard someone have the audacity to say to people who owe you nothing, at the end of the day, you are a public servant. You are paid by the constituents. That you feel that you have a right to tell people on their time that you're going to demand respect. I grew up hearing respect was earned. Now, if that changed somewhere in the the DNA of life, maybe nobody told me about it, because, and I think it's obvious. You can keep demanding respect all you want. You're not gonna get it. Like, no one is, respecting you. Like, you are literally probably so disrespected to the point that it's laughable. Like, I want to see you do well, because as you let everybody know, you a black woman, you a black woman in power, and everybody wants to see a black woman down. No, ain't nobody banking on your downfall, girl. People are reflecting who you are. So maybe somebody like Ilya, what are they? Ayanna, come fix your life. I think she need to go visit the Thornton Township. And I think she need to find out the root of what really is causing Tiffany Henyard to not be able to articulate herself in a calm, leadership type tone. Like, I think Miss Von Zant, if you ever watch my little live, if anyone can share this live with Von Zant, if anyone can let her know, Tiffany Henyard needs you. I don't know anything about Tiffany Henyard's upbringing, but I know, Tiffany, you display the poster child of a narcissist. Like, no one is ever wrong in anything, and you're the victim in everything. I really think things would be different if you would learn how to conduct your meetings in a more professional tone. Like, I have literally been screaming for you, watching your meetings, saying, please just calm down. Just calm down. Don't let them get you so, out of pocket. Like, imagine if Vice President Kamala Harris responded like you. Like, imagine if former First Lady Michelle Obama responded like you. Imagine if Oprah responded like you. I mean, imagine if any of the women that I can just think of off the top of my head, who have been put in really important roles. The new Black Supreme Justice, I can't even think of her name right now. But imagine if any of those women conducted themselves the way you conduct yourself. Do you ever go back and look at any of your videos? Do you ever go back and look at any of your videos? I don't know. You can't look at your videos. Or maybe you like one of those people that look at your videos and you still just don't see nothing wrong with nothing that you're doing. But I'm here to tell you, from one queen to the next, take a training. Take a training in emotional intelligence. Take a training in decorum. Take a training in business etiquette. Take a training in how to receive constructive criticism. Take a training in how to clearly articulate your message without thinking you have to yell or belittle other people. Take a training. Take a training. All the other stuff that I hear you spend money on, I think the most investment that needs to be done is in you. I think the most investment needs to be done is in you. And one thing that's so funny that I think about, and we're going to move on to Young Thug in a minute, is what are you going to do after this? Like, I don't see you getting reelected. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't see you getting reelected. I really don't. I see you looking like Boo Boo the Fool after the election is over. And even I think some of the clauses that you've put into order regarding the next person's salary being decreased or, lowered to a unthinkable amount goes to show you don't believe in yourself either, because why would, it's like kind of rigging a fight. Like, you go in a ring and you pay somebody to make sure they, help you win. That's, that's what it sounds like. But anyway, so moving on to, Well, let me give you the update. Sorry, I did not give the update. Here is the update for Tiffany Henyard. The super mayor who feels she can get away with everything has now been put to a stop. So basically, a judge has basically halted Mayor Tiffany Henyard's plans to appoint a new village leader. So basically, Keith Freeman was one of her, that was one of her road dogs. She's hired a lot of people, had a lot of people on her team, and now a lot of people on her team are being indicted for a number of things, being investigated for a number of things. And it seems like that is the way that, prosecutors do things. They let you think you're getting away with murder for a long time. Feds let you think you're getting away with, like, if you look at how long people have been investigating certain cases that are coming out. This is nothing new. They didn't roll over and just say, "Oh, now I want to prosecute this person." No, they've been watching you. They've been gathering as much evidence as they can, letting people continue to think they're getting away with stuff, letting you continue to think that you can do all the things and not get caught, and then boom, they get you. Boom, they start getting everybody around you. And once they get everybody around you, what happens is then that's when people are going to start like flipping on you. And that's what's happening to her. So anyways, Keith Freeman has been indicted for bankruptcy fraud. He lied about his salary. Then now the chief of police, who looked like a roly-poly in my opinion. Y'all go look him up. I don't mean to judge, but it is what it is. If you look like that, you look like that. He looked like a big roly-poly who, was probably bullied himself in school and got a little bit of power. And yeah, all of the stuff that's come out on him, he should have never been a chief of police in the beginning. But the Cook County judge basically has put a stop to everything. She cannot hire these people. There has been a restraining order prohibiting her from any appointees from taking office. So I think it's kind of good that somebody finally stepping in, because if anybody watches any of that stuff, you're like, who oversees her? Like, somebody got to oversee her. She can't just think she the big bad wolf and she can do whatever she want to do. Now, granted, it seems like she's been doing everything she want to do for a little while, but I think it's all catching up to her. And Tiffany, girl, they already watching you. They already got you. They already got everything. They're just letting you keep dig yourself a deeper hole. So let's move on to Young Dolph. Young Dolph's murder was recently, one of the guys who was convicted are arrested due to the unfortunate murder of Young Dolph, has now had his sentencing done. So this is crazy when you think about like how this all happened, what happened, and how he was assassinated. Like, what was it for? Like, at the end of the day, guys, I just don't know. I don't know anything that makes it right for someone to think that they can go take somebody else's life. I really don't. So unless you've been sleeping under a rock, Young Dolph, also known as Adolph Robert Thornton, was born July 27, 1985, and unfortunately was assassinated, and that's what they are saying, on November 17, 2021. His stage name was Young Dolph. He was an American rapper in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, his alleged murderers have, one of them, I think all of them have been arrested, but one just actually had his verdict read to him, and he was found guilty of everything. And immediately sentenced to life in prison. So, like, this is interesting to say the least, because from what I'm hearing, and I did not follow this trial like I've been following the Young Thug trial. I'm very much more up to date on the Young Thug trial, and we're going to talk about that next. But there wasn't very much evidence from what I've been hearing as it relates to this trial. But they had a lot of text messages and different back and forth conversations that alluded to this being some type of conspiracy, where the three people who have been arrested did conspire to unfortunately assassinate, and I don't know if that's a good word that I could say on here, but they took young Dolph's life. So he was sentenced to life in prison for the first degree murder charge. He'll be sentenced on the other charges in November. So, and just watching his facial expressions, in my opinion, I didn't even see any kind of reaction. Like, maybe he gonna cry when he go back behind the door. Like, but to me, to know that you finna spend the rest of your life in prison, like, I don't understand. What do people be thinking? Like, when you make it to the crime wall, it's an interesting thing to say the least. So let's move on to Young Thug. Young Thug's trial, the infamous longest trial in America, in my opinion, outside of Trump's trial that I think is going to keep going forever and ever too. But we haven't covered that yet. And then I do have an update on Diddy. I have an update on Diddy. I want to talk about that because that was just posted recently on the Crown Wall too. And by the way, if you're new here, I'm Mo. Cass may come on every once in a while. I think she was in the comments earlier. So both of us give commentary on various things that might make it to the Crime Wall. So if there's something that you want us to cover, please just let us know. Definitely trying to stay abreast. One big change that we have done, everything won't just be gory stuff. So like if you look on our channel, a lot of stuff was kind of hard to cover because you know, guys, when you cover these types of things, it kind of get to you mentally. It kind of get to you mentally. So me and my sister kind of took a break from some of those things, but want to talk about really what's been going on in the Young Thug trial. Now, Young Thug was indicted way back in 2022 for violating Georgia's RICO, racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations law, and has been allegedly arrested for committing a number of multiple violent crimes. Now, one thing I'll tell you, as I have watch the replay of almost every part of this trial. Like, I am literally invested to the point where at times I hate Prosecutor Love. I'm sorry, Queen. I know you just doing your job, but sometimes, girl, I just don't like you. And sometimes it just, I really just be mad at you. And I can't remember the other girl who sits up there with you, but I don't like her either. Like, both of y'all facial expressions is just something. You know how some people just make you just not like them. Like, I've never met them before in my life, but through the TV, I don't like you, Prosecutor Love, or the other lady who's prosecuting. It's just weird. And I never liked Judge Glanville. Like, Judge Glanville, I am so happy that you was removed from this case, because from the beginning you thought you was some big bad wolf, and you could do whatever you wanted to do, and you didn't have to abide by the law. And listen, let me tell you something. That is supposed to be the beauty of our system. You are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And one thing that's important, you know, when you think about even case law and trials and anything, it is the prosecutor's responsibility to prove the case. The defense doesn't have to prove anything. Like, the defense doesn't have to come up with all this discovery. And it's just been interesting when you would watch Judge Glanville basically tell the defense that they need to come up with this or they need to provide. No, like, come on now. And I think, honestly, when you look at all of the evidence that Prosecutor Love and her team, which that's taxpayers' money too, by the way. Like, there are so many other crimes going on, I'm sure, in Georgia, but this one has taken so much of Georgia's, you know, monetary fund when it comes to the prosecution of this trial. They went back to 2015. Like, they are looking at, guys, if you all don't know now, don't send a text message. Don't put no post on your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, your social media. Like, anything and everything can be used against you in a court of law. And that's what I think now. Reprimand, what the thing is, the police read to you whenever you get arrested. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Anything you post on your social media, anything that you text to somebody, even your dang notes on your phone. Like, guys, if y'all watch the McClenny case, that girl, the girl, you know, OnlyFans girl who, is on trial for taking out her boyfriend. They went back in her notes app on her phone. They went back all the way to 2015 or 2013 and retrieved her personal notes to read everything to build a case on her mental capacity. So like, even your notes are not protected. Like these phones, guys, I don't know, but I say all that to say this: half of the prosecution's evidence in the Young Thug trial is speculation, hearsay, the biggest reach. In my opinion, that's why there's continuing objections going on throughout this whole trial. Because if the defense had to object every single time, it would be objection, 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 objection. Because honestly, guys, there has been no evidence yet that I have seen that has clearly demonstrated Young Thug as being the head of this YSL gang group. Is he a rapper who probably uses street credibility to be out in the world? Yes. Could he be the head of a gang? Yes. But at this point, Prosecutor Love, I don't know what school you went to, but you ain't proving your case. If anything, you are killing the jury. I feel so sorry for this jury that is on this case, knowing they get paid pennies on the dollar to sit there every single day, have to be moved out of the room because something you didn't do, Prosecutor Love, something you didn't put in discovery, something that the defense didn't have access to. It is always something when it comes to this prosecution. So I don't mean to sound one-sided. I'm just covering what I've seen. I'm covering what I know. And this trial is just, it looks like it's going to be a never-ending trial. I don't know. And then when you think about the new judge, like sometimes I'm like, okay, she getting order in this court. She getting order in this court. And then sometimes she has a little smirkiness to herself too, where it seems like, it's my way or the highway. No, it's the law's way. That's what people tend to forget. It's not your way. It is the law. It is the law's way. And it is your duty to abide by the law, not think you are the law. And that's the same problem, guys, in my opinion. And I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, get mad, whoever. It doesn't matter. This is Mo's opinion. Educational content only. But police are like that too. Police are not the law. You enforce the law, not the other way around. And I think this is where things get so muddy when people are put into authoritative positions. Even with bosses, you are not the company. You were put in the place to help run the company. But that's a whole nother saying. But let's get into a backup. So right now we've got Zachary, who is currently on stand. He sounds just like Lil Woody. He don't recall. He don't remember. He's got another excuse though. He was in the hospital. His condition, due to, he used to take a lot of prescription pills and all this kind of stuff. And he was in rehab. I mean, he's given every excuse in the book. But one thing that I think is really important to call out that I don't know if anybody else has seen, but none of these boys even finished middle school. None of these boys made it to high school. If they made it to high school, ninth grade was probably the furthest they got. And half of them sit on the stands and say they cannot read. They cannot read. You have to read the information to them because they cannot read. I sit and say to myself, it is 2024. There is no reason why there should be any person in this world at this point in life that can't read. And if the life has taken over to the point where you forgot the importance of being able to read and articulate and be able to comprehend, then someone should have intervened and helped you understand that, no matter your lifestyle, your education is important. So all of these boys, like I see their pictures, they were holding, you know what, in their hand way back in the 7th grade. 6th and 7th grade. Now, I don't know who raised them. I don't know if grandma was in the picture. I don't know if there wasn't no nonprofit organizations in the picture, but that's a shame. Something is wrong with that. Something is wrong with the fact that most of these young men are all from Georgia, never graduated, never made it to high school, only made it to the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and have pictures dating back from 2013 and 14 of them with these in their hands and throwing up all these different type of GA signs and stuff like that. So I think honestly, Young Thug is literally, unfortunately, and this is just Mo's opinion, Mo's educational opinion. Everything is alleged until everybody is proved, whatever, you know, whatever the saying is, to make sure y'all can't come back and sue us. I done said it. But Young Thug, in my opinion, is the victim of being a star of his circumstances, right? Every rapper, not one rapper that I can think of that has come from the streets has not talked about the streets. Not one rapper that I've ever seen come from the streets has, you know, never mentioned the lifestyle of what's around them. Even think about Cardi B. Like when you think about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, all of them have told their stories, right? Of what they were surrounded by. It doesn't mean that they ran strip clubs or they did this or did that. You know, like it's almost such a reach, right? And then we all know there's a lot of rappers that pretend to be these, you know, street people, and they have no credibility. So when does the line really get drawn from it being a form of art versus it being real testimony of a person basically telling on themselves? So like a lot of cases now, almost every case, they are introducing evidence in the form of your social media. So yeah, social media, it has now become the prosecutor's discovery. They will go back and find everything. You don't even have to prove that you really posted it. If it was on your account, it's yours in their opinion. So right now, Zachary has been testifying, you know, that Mr. Williams didn't do anything. He's never told the police. And another commonality, guys, with every last one of these boys who has taken the stand, they lie on everybody. They lie on everybody. I lied on this person. I lied on this person. I lied on this person. And I mean, guys, guess what? That's the street. I can believe that because in their mind, you're not snitching if you're not telling the truth. Right? That's it, right? You only snitching when you tell the truth. So in their mind, if they get called into the police headquarters to tell the police something, as long as they're lying about whatever it is, in their mind, they still got street cred. They still got street credibility. They have not broken any kind of code. They are still that street. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to figure out, you know, how credible are any of these testimonies that the prosecutor is calling to prove her case that doesn't prove anything except for the fact that they colluded on everything. Guys, everything that Prosecutor Love and her staff have questioned these people about have been, you basically threatened me. You basically told me I was going to have to serve all this time. She has literally held people in contempt and put them in jail for not wanting to testify. So like, how far can a person go to try to prove a case? And, you know, there's also questions about the grand jury. Like, should this have even been brought to a suit? Like, should this have even been a case from the beginning? Like, what was the grand jury really presented? Because now that we're looking at this, some of the discovery from the police and the investigators, They around here messing with some of the people they supposed to be investigating. So like, how, make it make sense. Like, guys, this is amazing. So if you haven't watched some of the Young Thug trial, I encourage you to go and watch. There's a lot of recaps out there, so that's why I don't want to go over everything. I'm just giving my opinion on some of the stuff that I've seen, and it's interesting to say the least. So moving on, we just posted an update regarding Diddy. Diddy do it? Did he do it? That's the question. Did he do it? So I don't know. I don't know. I definitely know he's guilty of that video. Like listen, ain't even a legend on that. Ain't no alleged. He kicked that girl. He did everything he did on that video to Cassie. It's public. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I don't know the rules, but in my opinion, that ain't alleged no more. It's facts. The video supports the what he did. Now, his attorney has recently come out that Diddy might take the stand. Diddy might actually provide his side of the story. What in the heck can Diddy say to justify any of this, any of these allegations? I will be tuned in on behalf of the Crime Wall, though, to update everyone on whatever that may be. I am in the process of requesting some public records so that we can dig a little bit deeper and kind of find out what's going on, especially with the newest lawsuit that has been brought to the New York jurisdiction from Talia Graves. If you haven't seen her, she has filed suit with, I can't remember that white lady name, but that white lady, that's her lawyer. If you did some sexual, like, kind of bad stuff or whatever, and she represents you, she coming for blood. Like, she coming for your jugular. Like, she coming to collect, basically. And she has one of the most stoic faces, like, as an attorney. Like, I'm afraid just looking at her get an update. Like, when she told people, no, I will not comment on that. I was like, God, she said it so stern. But yeah, so she is representing Talia Graves, and Talia Graves alleges that Diddy and his bodyguard, Big Joseph Sherman, Big Joe, drugged her and took advantage of her in a recording studio. Now, a lot of people want to know, why is she just now coming out? Why is she just now saying something? Well, why not? If everybody else feels like they can say and tell their story, you ain't never held on to something forever. Like, I know I've held on to something forever. And at this point, she probably feels it's safe for her to come out and tell her story because Diddy is behind bars. So if he was this powerful mogul that everyone says he is, and he, had the power to do all these things, like, there is one common thing with Diddy. A lot of people is dead. Like, a lot of people ain't here no more, that was attached to him, to say the least. So she is alleging that they did these things to her. Now, Big Joe has come out with his update that he is innocent and that he is willing to take a lie detector test. Now, I went searching for Big Joe. It was hard to find pictures on him, but I found some pictures. So if you want to just go check out the video we just posted on the Crime Wall, at least you'll know who Big Joe is, because I had to go digging. Like, I had never really known who this Big Joe is. But he definitely was surrounded by a lot of celebrities because he was the bodyguard for a lot of people. So is it a possibility he could have been with Diddy when this happened? Yes, so it'll be up to the prosecution to prove. However, I will make one conclusion that I kind of got from the interview of the announcement of the lawsuit. They don't have this video. So this video that the woman is saying that has been exploited or has been passed around without her knowledge, they've never seen it supposedly, or no one has seen it. Now, that's kind of what I took from it, but you know, you never know from that woman. I want to go and read the full indictment to see, you know, what all was posted in there, because that's going to have all the information. Um, One thing I notice when people come out and talk about these things, you limit your amount of conversation, because anything you say can be used back against you. So you don't want to risk saying the wrong thing. So that's why, because a lot of people's like, why does she have to read off of a written statement? You've got to prepare your client. You don't want your client to ever be on public record giving her testimony, and she gets emotional and she says something that could be perceived in the wrong way. It could jeopardize your case. So I know a lot of people, you know, were saying, you know, it didn't seem authentic because she was reading from a piece of paper. Guys, that's because she's preparing for a case. And when you're preparing for a case, you know, your attorney is going to instruct you on what to do, what to say. And you know, the crying to me is valid. Like, have you not ever brought up something that could have happened to you 10 years ago and it didn't trigger some emotion from you? Like, I just, you know, I think people need to leave people alone. It ain't you. You ain't Diddy. You ain't, you know, you're not her. You're not any of them people, you know. So stop judging people. Like, it is what it is. So those are the updates. I know this live went pretty long. First live I've ever done on the Crime Wall channel. Cass convinced me that I should really look into, you know, being on YouTube live. So next time I'll be a little more prepared. Hopefully I'll have a little more information. I just wanted to come on here, test this out, see how the live work, and yeah, get y'all back on the Crime Wall journey with us. Like, we finna come forward. We finna come forward. We finna bring y'all a lot of things, a lot of cases. We even gonna bring some telephone calls from inmates. I'm watching some telephone calls that I'm trying to edit right now, from the guy who killed 2 women. And I gotta go research it, even if I'm allowed to say the word Kill. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. But I mean, we are a crime channel, so I don't know what the right answer is to that. But you know, you literally can hear prison phone calls, like what people are saying, and it's just amazing to watch a person who say unalived. Okay, got it, sis. Y'all. That's Cass who's on the live. So say unalive. Got it. So it's interesting to see how their demeanors change from while they're in the courtroom versus how they sound when they're back in prison. It is like, it's just totally 2 different personalities with these people. Like, they turn into the most kindest people, because, you know, and then the women who are, I love you. It's like, you love a person who unalived people. You love a person who's been convicted of unaliving 2 women. Like, so that phone call session is going to be interesting. I think what we might do is play the phone call and give commentary throughout the phone call, because I think that's going to be, it's like being the fly on the wall. You literally are getting to listen to these people conversations, and it's interesting. So guys, I'm tired. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you, Cass, for supporting. Hopefully, I know you'll do a live on here as well. People miss you too. So appreciate everybody. Make sure you like. Can you like the live? I think you can like the live. Like, guys, I'm so new to the live. Like the live, share the live, make a comment. And then if there's anything that you would like to see us cover on the Crime Wall, please definitely email us. There's a link in all of our videos to contact us through Google form. And last but not least, we mean no disrespect to any people or victims that we cover on the Crime Wall. We are only bringing this information as educational and entertainment purposes only. Entertainment more in the lines of, maybe you might hear our commentary. Educational for all of the unfortunate things that have happened to some of the people that we actually cover on this channel. So be safe, be cautious, and most of all, just don't be naive. Don't make it to the Crime Wall. That's not where you want to be. You don't want to make it to the Crime Wall. Peace, love, and happiness. All right, now I got to figure out how to in this thing. I think I just hit the X button, so let's X out.